Hi, let's create something new today using Power BI. So the data we're going to be working with today is actually comment from a YouTube video. So we have those two amazing guys, Chris Brown and Davido. So they have a new collaboration. So we're going to extract their data or the comment from the video to create something that is actually on my screen right now. So before we come back here, let us take a look at the kind of data we're going to be working with. So once you're on your browser, so go ahead and search for Chris Brown featuring Davido, right? So once you have actually made the search, you scroll down the video, you can see this is the title of the video. The title, right? So the channel actually has over 26 million subscribers and it has 2.6 million views in 6 days, and it's one of the trending music right now. This is not why we are here. Let's go straight down. So right here below, you can see we have 13,000 plus comments, and this is huge, right? So if you keep scrolling down, it's on and on, you keep seeing a lot of comments, over and over again. I was so much impressed with the comments on this very video, and when I see data, I just want to always make sense with the data. Okay, the thing I did was this. I tried to look for a script to help me extract this data from here, the comment and even the replies, the time in which those comments were being made on. I want to get everything. So we have a script to help us with that. All right, if you want to actually create something just like this, or you want to create or get data from your favorite YouTube channel, I'm going to get you covered today. So we're going to do everything from the scratch together. All right, we are right here on Power BI desktop. I'm going to show you the kind of insight we have gotten from the data. So first of all, let us understand what the heck is this. So we have the total comments, the total likes and comments, and we have the percentage of likes and comments. And if you come over here, you can see music style, reference in comments, like the Afro Beat from Nigeria in Africa and Amapiano from South Africa, still in Africa, right? Because those are the two kind of music style that was combined together to hit that music to the world. Okay, now we have the artist popularity right here. So we are looking forward to like how many times did people mention Chris Brown? How many times did people mention Davido in the comment, right? Okay, now the next one is actually looking at this particular viewers with multiple comments. This is one of my favorite part right here. What are people doing for 25 times? Commenting 25 times, 17, 12 times? This is crazy. I want to know what it is. And next again is for we to look at some kind of trend. But this time around, we're trying to group our time to make sure we look at between this time and this time, how many comments we've heard on the video. So over here, we are looking at days. So viewing days right here. So we can see the numbers. And over here, this is exactly what we have based on weekdays. And here we can switch different measures. So switching measures, if I click on this particular one right now, you would see that this particular part and this part here will definitely change. And if I click over here, the same thing would happen. Okay, let us now come over here where we have people with multiple comments. So when you actually hover over a particular bar right here, you can see drill through, then you can go to comment. So now we are here on comment. Let us see what this person is actually saying up till this time, right? This person left 12 different comments, and the first comment says Afro Beat to the world, and he made a comment at 2:07 a.m. in the morning, and this is the person user ID. And this is the date this person left the comment. So he left this comment on different time, but on the same day. And secondly, he says Chris Brown is mad on this pidgin lyrics. What? Well done, guys. And here he says, if you are here for Chris Brown, please comment your flag, whatever. So, and the last one he actually said was, we'll watch again tomorrow, love, and all of that. So this is what it is. Although some of the comments seems to be like is spam. Mostly if we drill through to this particular person who left 25 comments and we just go into it and we click on it, you can see most of what this person is saying right here is not really making any damn sense, right? So analyzing this data would actually uncover or reveal. Should I use the word reveal? So reveal a lot of things about people who are leaving comment on people's video. So you can drill through using this particular part right here as well. So you want to drill through and see what people are talking about their video. So you can just go through it, and everything you see here has to do with the comment that people made about Davido. So never expected Chris Brown and Davido to work together. Wow, this is amazing. This is exactly what it is. So if you want to see how to actually get to create this kind of dashboard. It's your own turn to wait and watch. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you have not. And if you have, your comment is very important, and hit the like button. Share if need be. Let's do it. So right here we have a blank Power BI PBRX. There is no data to work with. So what we need to do is just to go ahead and get data from YouTube to do that. I have my browser launched. So the very first thing you have to do is to bring up YouTube. Go ahead and actually search for the video. So I'm going to do so let's go. So this is the actual video. So it's still recording 5 days ago. I think it's like 6 days ago right now, but we're still seeing 5 days ago right here. So what do? We click on the video. Because I don't want to get strike for copyright, so I would have to go ahead and pause the video. I wouldn't play it. So you can actually play it on your own end. So that is all. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to scroll all the way down and look at the comments we have on it. So here are some couple of comments people had actually made on this video. So there are 12,000 plus comments, almost 13,000. So I'm going to add my own comment to it. So here we go. Then I do this. Okay, we're going to keep track of this very comment we have right here because this is the newest comment right now at this minute, right? Okay, let's see what time is it. It's actually 12:07 p.m. right here. The next thing we have to do right now is to actually open a new tab. So with this new tab, we're going to type in sheets.new and hit the enter key. Okay, Google Sheet is up. So what is next? I will definitely remove what I have right here, and I'm going to have something like this. So what do I need to do here? Over here is going to be where we have to name. I'm going to name this one. I think this sheet should be renamed. Let's go over here, rename this sheet. So I am going to rename this sheet as input. So this is my input sheet, right? So over here on the cell A1, I'm going to put in here video ID. And on the sheet B1, I would like to give it the color of my choice. So let's go. I'm going to take off this one from here. So let's go over here now and choose any color of our choice. So let's go with a black color here. So the black color, we're going to go with a white color so that we can see any text we have on it. So you can just go ahead and stretch it out. It's optional if you want to do this, right? Okay, once we have done this, the next thing right now is to actually go to this particular extension right here. So click on extension and click on app script. So on the app script, once you click on it, it's going to open a new tab for you. So now we have this. Just go ahead and cancel this. You don't need to actually go through all of this. So over here, highlight this and let us copy the script I sent to you in here. So I just pasted my script. Do not change anything. Just paste this script right here and go ahead and save the project. So once you have done that, you have to rename this particular project. I'm going to name it to YouTube comment data. Wherever. So do it anyhow you like. I'm going to rename this. So we have just renamed our project right here, which is okay. The next thing right now is that we need to grant permission for we to get the comment we are looking forward to getting. So go ahead and click on services. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you have not. And if you have, your comment is very important, and hit the like button. Share if need be. Let's do it. And once you have done this, just scroll all the way down until you see YouTube. I think here, this is what you need to have. So over here, you're going to make sure this one is active. This is YouTube Data API 3 or V3. So go ahead and actually add this. Click on add. So it has been added for you. This is what you really need to do. So once you have done this, let us go back to this particular sheet right now. So right away, we have to use this. To get this used, we need to copy the video ID. So here is the video ID. Copy from here and stop at the equal sign. Don't include that one. This is just the video ID. So go ahead and copy. So once you have copied it, go over here and have it pasted in here. This is what we want. So once you have pasted it here, let's go back to this particular part here and run this. So once you have this run, you need to grant a permission to this for you to actually have the data extracted or the comment extracted. So go ahead and review permissions. So choose your account. Now, don't go back, just click on advanced. And now you have to go to this particular part here and click on it. So we scroll the way down and we allow. All right, the extraction has started. Let us give it some time to get our feedback. Okay, I think we have success already. So let's go over here. If you can look at it right now, it says execution completed. We go to this. And now we have a new sheet added here with all the comments that is in the video. Okay, once you have done this, before we finally take our data from here to Power BI, let me show you one thing. In case you want to come back after some few days and actually add more comments and update the one you have in Power BI, this is what you will do. You have to save your script. When I say save your script, I'm talking about saving this particular script and reuse it over and over again without going through all those particular processes. Now, what you will do is to go back here now. So we are here, you click on extension and you click on macro and you import macro. So once you have done that, you add function. This is the one we have created that is actually right here. Just add function, right? Okay, you wouldn't know the use right now because if you want to run it and you click over here, there is nothing to run because we just have it newly. So what you will do now is like, you can wait for like some few minutes and go to, you don't need to even go there. Just come over here and click on this. You have a new sheet added and the new comment that is being placed or that is being made on the video would appear. You can actually use this script. All you just have to do, if you want to get, a different comment from another channel, just delete this one away from here, go over to YouTube, make a search of any of the video you want to actually scrap comment from, copy the ID just like what I've done right here. So don't forget, here is the ID, copy the ID. Once you have done that, come over here and paste the ID over here. So once it is done, you don't have to go right here again to actually run it. To have this run now, all you have to do is to click on extension right here. So once you click on extension, you click on macro and you just click on this particular scrap comments with replies right here. That is all. So successfully, we have a sheet here. So how do we get this data out of Google Sheet to maybe some kind of other file type? Rather, you need to go over to file. And from file, we look for download. So we are here and we have download. And over here, you can see we have this particular comma separated values, which is CSV. That is what we need. Just go ahead and click on it. So here we go. Watch it. So it has been downloaded here. So we need to actually click over here right now. And this is our data. So I'm going to do Ctrl X to cut it away from here. Paste in this right here. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you have not, and if you have, your comment is very important, and hit the like button, share if need be. Let's do it. All right, this is how I want to actually do this transformation to get the music style that people mention most. Maybe it's Amapiano, Afro Beat, R&B, or whatsoever. And for artist popularity, we have two people who collaborated on this music. So it's between Chris Brown and Davido. So there are several names you can use to extract this from the comment section. So if somebody actually references this Chris Brown as this, or somebody says Breezy, because we call him Breezy sometimes. Some people would write their Chris like this. Some will write their Chris like this. Some will put this together. So they are actually all referring to Chris Brown. That is what we want. Okay, as for Davido, his original name is actually David. So if somebody called him David, we want to actually say, okay, this person is referring to Davido. Okay, 30 BG is the fans, and we call him by the same name as well. So it's been written in different ways. It could be together, separated, and Baddest is another name we call Davido in Nigeria, my country. So we are proud of him so much. So we want to see between him and Chris Brown, so which person's name is being mentioned often in comment section. So to get this done now, we are going to start up from here. So I want to get this now. Okay. To make it easy to get this, what I'm going to do now is that I would like to turn this particular comment section here into an uppercase. So what I will do is to go to transform. From transform, I go to format and I will convert this into uppercase. So I don't know. You can choose anything that actually favors you, but I believe that I want to type everything in uppercase. I don't want to, because some people would actually put Davido as D for capital letter. They'll come over here and put another small letter in between. There will be D in capital letter and other letters in small letter. So I don't want to actually have that problem. So convert everything into either small or lowercase or uppercase like this. So once you have done this, the next thing is going to over here and you click on this particular conditional column. So we are here. So we're going to name this later. So what you need to do is to actually reference this comment and actually tell it. And if it contains this, we want to, if it contains this, you want to actually call this one as Amapiano. So the next thing again is go over to here. Make sure you copy from here. You understand? Copy from here to be exact. So you just choose to use comment contains. So this one is going to be Afro Beats, or you can use Beats. So now this is the title here. We can come over here and said for any one of the that does not meet what is in the comment section, or what we need to do is just to say unspecified. So unspecified is what we want for it. So I filled all of this. You can just take a look at it. I'm going to scroll slowly down now. You see what I've done here. So go through what I've sent to you to have this done. Then you click on what? Click on OK. Now you have this. Right? So if you want to see the distribution now, what you have to do is to go over to view and click on column profile. So we can't see nothing here because it's actually on the wrong data type. So click over here and choose to use text. So step off from it and come back into it again. Now you can now see. So people mention Amapiano more than Afrobeat. Don't worry, you're going to see their reason for mentioning Amapiano. Maybe it's actually based on sentiment or whatsoever. You're going to see all of that. So this is exactly what you need to do. So the next thing now is to go over to this particular part where we look at the artist popularity. So we start from here. Just copy, come over here, you click on add column, then conditional column. So we choose this. To make it faster, you can add some couple of clauses like this. All right. So once you've done that, you have to choose comment for everything. Choose comment. I fill this particular part here with comments, and I fill this particular operator with contains, and right here I'm going to paste in what I want. So once that is the case, we want to say Chris. This is it. So you go over here and you copy the next line. So you come over here, you paste it, and the video. All right, as you can see, we have the artist popularity. To get that, just go over here and put comments all through, because we are trying to extract something from comment using this operator contains. Then you put all of this here, and you must make sure that you match what's here with the name you want to reflect when this is found in the comment we have right in here. And for those one that does not meet up with what we are looking forward to seeing, we want to use unspecified. Then go ahead and just click on OK. So we have to make sure we do this, and we use text. So when we come back to it again, now we can see here. So people mention Chris Brown more than Davido. So we're going to find out everything once we create our report or our dashboard. So we have done the necessary thing right from here. So our data transformation is 100% completed right now. This is what you need to do, very importantly. So it is time for we to head straight up to Power BI Desktop. So all we have to do is to click on Close and Apply. Okay, let us take a small tour as we have our data right here. If I open it up, we have all of the columns we have as, date and other columns. Then going over here now, we can see the true nature of our table and the column that it contains. Okay. The next thing we're going to do right now is to actually create, a DAX, some couple of DAX. So to do that, I want to actually store my DAX in a different table. So just go over here and click on Enter. That is going to be under Home. Click on Enter Data. So right here, I can actually type in here DAX like this, and I'm going to load this. So that would be where I'm going to store in all of the DAX I would definitely write. So there is no complex DAX right here. It's something very, very simple. Okay, we have this right here. Right click on it and create your first DAX. So before we continue creating our DAX, let us understand what we are trying to achieve using the comment dataset that we actually have. As you can see here, we have some couple of insights we want to get from the data we have actually gotten from YouTube. So total comments, total likes on comments, percentage of likes on comments, total replies to comments, popularity of artist mentioned in comments, music style referenced in comments, viewers with multiple comments, and comments activities by time of day, and daily comment trend by weekday, and daily comment trend by day. Okay, the very first thing I'm going to do now is to say all comments. So for all comments, what are we going to use? So we just use the count rows. The count rows function will count for us the data table here, right? So we hit the enter key. So this would have done the justification to all comments. So we have all of the comments, right? So if I go ahead and click on this comma separator right now, it will actually give me that privilege of having separation in thousands, right? So the next thing is for me to bring this into a card to take a look at what it is that I have, right? So here we go, we have 13,000. It's not up to 13,000, it's 12,000 plus. If I go over to this particular part now, and you want to see if this is actually, okay, we can use this. You can see, okay, it's 13,009. That is the number, 13,009. So here we go, we have it. So once we have done this, the next DAX we're going to create is going to be our total likes and comments. So let us do new measure. So for total likes and comments, we're going to do total likes on comments. So equals. So we use a simple sum function because this is a column inside our data table. So we have this likes here. So we close and hit our enter key. So once we have done this, let us go and verify if this is a value or not. So we go over to the table view and we locate our data table. So here is the like. So if I click on like now, so you can see this is reply. So here is like. If I click on like, you can see 101, and you see this is likes. So if you want to verify this, you can just deselect everything. So let us go with this one that has 10 likes. So you can see, which means this particular comment here has 10 likes. These comments, every single comment here, they all have 10 likes. That is what it is. So you need to understand. So we can just go ahead and clear all filter, right? So the next thing is for we to go back here and make sure we format this into a comma separator. So we are going to create our comment reply rate. It's very important, comment reply rate. So this is going to be a percentage. To do that, all we have to do is just to do divide. So what are we dividing? We're dividing the comment reply. We have not created that. So we first of all need to create comment reply first before we can do this. Understand? So all I have to do right now is just to Ctrl X to cut this one and save it inside my clipboard. I'll just type here comment reply. So this comment reply, we're going to come back here and do something and make sure we follow the right rules. Otherwise, our visuals would have problem. But for the time being, let us create the basic one. So we're going to do, for the comment reply, so before we go ahead, let us go ahead and take a look at our comment reply first. We need to go to the data view. So we click on data table. So we click on reply. So you see most of the rows in reply, if you scroll down, they are actually blank, right? So if I now open reply, you can see we have some replies. Some replies are just some kind of symbol. That was why when we were doing our cleaning, we said we should leave heart, because some people just use love emoji or whatsoever. So this one now has no text, it's just heart, so it's a comment. We want to count it, right? So we're going to count all of the comments that are here, exclude the blanks. To do that now, we come over here. So we now add a new measure. So with the new measure now, it's going to be comment replied. So for comment replied, we're going to do distinct count non-blank. Distinct count non-blank. You were going to count reply. So here we go, reply. So we do this and we hit our enter key. So if this is correct, we can verify it. Let us do that. So just go ahead and use the comma separator. So always verify your values. Even though if you have huge amount of data, you can actually find a way to verify it to know if you're actually reporting the right number. So let us do the verification. So put this one into a card here. So we have it on a card. This is actually 1,425. Then if we go over here, so we're going to click on this data table. We go to reply. Here we go. So we scroll all the way down beneath here. You should be seeing this now. You can see. So we have 1,425 distinct value. That is exactly what I'm talking about. This is how you can actually verify what you have. So it correlates with this one here. This is what we need. So next, right now, we can actually create another column. And what this column would do is to give us the rate, right? So let's go over and do it. So right click and new measure. So over here, we can type in percentage of likes on comments. So we can do this. So to do that now, we use the divide function. So we divide that particular last measure before this one, which is comment replied. So we divide it by what? By the total comments. So to handle 0 division, we put that 0 there, we hit the enter key. So we have just gotten this done. We can go ahead and do this percentage number formatting. So if you look at it over here, I have actually created this. So you can see what I chose here, all. So if I click on this one, this is actually total likes on comment. And over here, I'm using this, and right here, I'm using comment replied. Okay, we have gotten this. We have to create our first, chart. To create our first chart, I'm going to choose this particular chart right here. So we can stretch it out, and this is what it is. Okay, the very first thing I want to do is to open up this particular part right here. And what we need is the popularity. Okay, artist popularity, we are going to bring it over here, and we want to see how many comments. So this is what we have. Just go ahead and copy and paste and just bring this over here for the time being. Don't bother about the spacing for now. We're going to actually take care of that later after all. So we're going to say, okay, this one here shouldn't be just the popularity. Instead, we are looking for, what the heck is it? This one here. So this is what it is. So it's not making any damn sense right now, but do not worry. I told you, your dashboard will look very flashy after all. So you go ahead and copy and paste it and bring this down to this particular part here and open it up. Once you have it opened up, the next thing you're going to do right now is that convert this into a table to see something more clearly than if you have a chart. So we have a table, and this is what we have right here. So for that, I'm going to actually make sure I give you this particular view. So once I have this view here, I'm going to go on and actually take off this one. Instead, I want to look at the user ID. So those are the user IDs right here. So with the user IDs, it's not giving me the kind of vibe I want. Let's go back. And now we have to switch things around. Click over here and click on the user ID and take it to the top until you have this greenish, horizontal line, then withdraw. Okay, you have this here. If we go back to focus mode now, you see this number we have here. This number is peculiar to the reply. So those ones that are some kind of here, those are for people who actually leave comment. So what we want right now is that we want to see people with multiple comments, right? People with multiple comments. To do that, what I'm going to do for the first time, if I should do this, I don't want to write any DAX for it. You can write a DAX for it, but I don't want to do that. If I should come over here and say for user ID, I will just come over here and I want to choose the top N. And how do I want to base this? I want to see the top 5 people that has more than one comment. Then all I have to do now is to go to all comments and drag it over here and click on this. So this is what I'm going to have. So it will actually include this for me, despite that I have no username for this person here, because all of those here are some kind of replies. So I'm going to have this. How can we work around this to make it better? So what I'll do now is to clear everything away from here. So for the very first time, instead of me to use top N, I would rather use this particular advanced filtering. Okay, instead I'll actually use basic filtering rather. So with the basic filtering, I am going to select everything and I would exclude this particular one from it. So we have excluded this 1814 from the list. The next thing we have to do is to go ahead and close it. So we start afresh. So we drag in the user ID into here. So now if we go to top N, before we go to top N, if you look at it, it's no more in the list. So we now click on the top N here and we tell top to retrieve just 5 users and do that by all comments and we apply. So we can now see something like this. So we have somebody who had left 25 comments, 17, 12, and that person here is actually 12 and 11. Can you see that? This is crazy. So the thing is this. Most of those comments here, some of them might be spam, some might be real due to the person is a fan or whatsoever. We're going to actually find out later when we create our drill through to see what comment are they leaving. Then from there, we can check it out to see if their kind of comments are scam or not. So we have this, we can convert it to something like this. Do you see this now? So we'll release it and we have this. Okay, the next visualization we want to create right now is grouping our time. So which means we have to copy and have this pasted here, but we do not have our time yet grouped. So how do we balance this? Don't worry, I got you covered. So you don't have to write this from the scratch. Here is a dark code that can actually help you to group your time, right? So I'm going to leave this in the comment section. Please, if you go to the comment section and copy this, just say thank you in the comment section, or leave any comment that you wish is actually cool. All right. So the next thing is for me to just go over to this particular table view and go over to data table. From data table, we click on new column. So this new column is here. We're going to paste this right in here. So if you look at it now, we have an error. Please pay attention right here. It's very important. So the question is this: why this error we have here that has some kind of underline? So this is because the table name is not what is here. So the table name says comment and time. So our table name is actually data table, right? So we have to make sure we change it. And we can do this just once without doing it manually. If we want to edit it manually, it's going to take us a lot of time. So highlight this particular part. So you can take a look at where I have highlighted. So once you have done this, the next thing now is to hold your Control-Shift key down, and the L key would select every single thing here for you. You can see this, right? So now what do? We type in our table name. Or still, what we can do, we can be very much specific, because this particular part here called time is correct. So we have time here. We can only specify to change this particular part. And to change this particular part is the same thing again, Control-Shift-L. Then we type in here, data table. So when I type in data table, it does not work. And that was because we have to use single quotes for our data table. Let's try it. I'm going to remove everything. So inside single quote, I will put just me bringing single quote. I have my data table coming up already. I'll use the tab key to auto-complete it. And over here, I have this. Hitting the enter key, it would actually group the time for me just like this. So go to the comment section and copy this. The next thing is for me to go over here. And now we have to change this. I would remove everything from here. If this would actually give you a tough time, let us delete it and start from the scratch. So go over here and get this. So we're going to go to time grouped and all comments. So we're going to have something like this. So don't worry if things are looking some kind of haggard for now. So we're going to actually clean everything up later after all. So we have something like this. The next thing now is for we to create a line chart that shows a trend. And this trend, we want to create a measure that we can actually switch between and see what is the trend at a time. So all those measures we put into a single place where we can actually click on them. So what I'm going to do now is to create this. And over here, I'm going to do something like this. Then I will go over to this place here. I'm going to use total likes on comment. So there is no date yet. We can actually use the date coming from here. So if I choose to use this date here, so you can see what I have. So because I'm using total likes on comments, this is what I have. So you can change any of this you like. So here we go. But what happens? Something just happened right here. This would actually make us to do something differently than what we have right now. So let me show you. So if you look at it, it's giving us a flat line. So does it mean we have the same likes for every single day? That is not. So if I do this, can you see it? That was because those likes were not recorded for this particular date. So if you would have to do it, all you have to do is to go over here now, click on it and switch off this date and bring this date instead. So to get this done now, I'm going to remove this. Then let's go over to here. Now, we are not going to add any column here. Instead, we go to Table Tools and we add a table. So the only thing we need in this date table is for we to get our date, our day, and our weekday. So we're going to use date, or I'm going to just type in here, calendar, wherever. I think I got it right. So with my calendar here equals and add column, then calendar auto. So close it, comma, and over here you do day, comma. So we use the date function. I think we use the day function rather, the day function. And we bring this date in. This date is coming from calendar auto. We close it and we hit our comma. So we want to extract our weekday. To extract the weekday now, all we have to do, we just do weekday. So we're going to use the format function. So this date again, comma, we use DDD for the shorter form. So we close, and for we to sort this now, we have to create another column to sort this weekday. So we call it week number. Then we do weekday. So with the weekday here, we type in date. So I'm going to stop it right here. So if you are creating this outside this current day, so which means the YouTube channel must have accumulated a lot of data. Maybe you're watching this after 2-3 years, so you would have to add months to see the trend on a monthly basis. But right now, because the data we have is actually just like 6 to 7 days old, we don't need much column here. I'm going to restrict it to these few ones here. If I hit my enter key, let's see what we have. Okay, if you look at here, we have this date that says 1899. That's crazy. But the question is this: how did we come about with this 1899? It was because we have time. So when you have time as a column separately, it always happens like this. So if you want to correct this, you have to write some little complex DAX. So I have done that in my other videos where you can actually point this particular date to a specific column where you want to pull the date, the minimum and the maximum date from. So for that, we are not going to do any of that. So it works like this without we doing it like that. So before we do anything, we have to turn off the date or the default date in Power BI. So to do that now, let's go to table 2 and mark as a date table. Then we just turn this on, click over here, choose this and click on save. So once you have done that, if you look at what is going to happen right now, let's go over here. For the purpose of those of you that are new on my channel and that have never watched any of this video before, I'm going to show you why I'm doing what I'm doing. So let's go over here and select a table instead of a chart. So I'm going to select a table. So here I have a table. So with this table right here now, I will go over to my calendar and I will drag the weekday in here. So let us look at how the weekday starts. The weekday starts from Friday and it ends on Wednesday. So for that, this will be the reason why we should actually sort our weekday. So going over here right now, we choose the weekday. So don't forget we have the week number here. So we go to this particular part, column tools, and we click on sort by column and we choose the week number. So this must have actually worked over here. So if you look at it right now, my weekday starts from Sunday and it ends on Saturday. So this is actually what it is. So it depends on the kind of weekday you have in your country. So it might be different from what I have on the screen, but you just have the idea though. Okay, once we have done this now, I'll keep this over here. Let us try something over this one. So instead of me to use any of the date from the main table called this particular data table, I would rather use date from here. So if I click on this, it was still giving me a straight line. So maybe that was because I have not created a relationship. Let's go ahead and do it. So we go over to this particular model view. So we are here. I can just close this and have this closed. So here is my calendar. This one is a important table that stores my dates for me. And if I just take this down a little bit now, then here is my date table. I will drag it on top of this one here. Then I am going to click on OK. So make sure you have this many to one and this one is checked as the active relationship. Then click on OK. So this is cool. Let's get back here. So it's not actually working for us yet, but for other measures, it would work. For this very measure here, it would work. For this particular measure here, it would work. But for this measure, it would never work. Can somebody tell me why? Okay, let's get back here. So what if we try to connect this particular published date and connect it to this one? Then we're still using many to one relationship. Do not turn this one on. Otherwise, it will actually send this particular one that is actually here as inactive. So what you need to do right now is to go ahead and click on save. So once done, you're going to see this particular dotted line right here. So we have a solid line and we have a dotted line. For the dotted line, it's actually the one that's connecting published to date in calendar. And the solid one is actually the one connecting the date to, which is this very one here. Let me take it a bit far away. Now we check this. Okay, it's not allowing me to select it, but the solid line here is strictly the one that connects the dates to this particular date here. So the main comment date. So how do we actually activate this? Do we have to go over here and activate it by clicking on this one? Let's try it. If we do that and click on OK, so this is not actually going to work. So what is it telling us? It says there are ambiguous parts between date table and calendar, date table, whatever. So we can't do something like this. So what do? We leave it as inactive. Now we can use a measure to activate the relationship between them. And the measure we are using here is actually calculated from that particular part. So total reply. So for we to actually make sure this one is correct right now, what we need to do is very simple. We have to re-establish. I call it re-establish. So we have to re-establish the connection, right? So what do? Over here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put calculate here. Calculate. I'll take this down. So which means we are using this calculate to change the filter context, right? So we change this filter context right now. And we tell it that, okay, this particular reply column from this table here has a date that the comments were being made on. And this date is a different column entirely. So we have actually connected that particular published date with our calendar table. But the dates between two of them are inactive. So we want to activate them. How do we do it? We put a comma here. So it will now ask us to filter. So shift down now. Over here, I'm going to use a function called user relationships. Okay, user relationship. So with this user relationship, the first thing I'm going to actually bring up right now, before I bring it up, let us look at this. So user relationship says column 1 and column 2. So look at it. It says specify an existing relationship to be used in the evaluation of a DAX expression. So the relationship is defined by naming as arguments the two columns that serve as endpoints. So how do we get this done? First of all, we bring in our calendar. So if I put date here, I have my date coming from the calendar. Then I'm going to put a comma here. For the second date, we're going to look for the published dates that we have actually connected. So after all, you would understand this. So if I type in published now, I have the date here. I'm going to close it over here, shift enter, then close my calculate function, hit my enter key. Please watch this closely. 100% correct. Can you see it now? Because we have re-established the connection, is no more inactive. Although here it's inactive, but this particular user relationship we have used has actually activated the relationship for us. So for that, it would work right here. So do you see the magic right now? This is what we want to have. So I'm going to have this over here for the time being. Just keep it here, don't worry about it. So on this particular part here, before we do this, there is something we must do. Very importantly. So I want to be able to see not just the comment replied, but I want to see trend of my, how do I call it? Of my comments, of my percentage on comments. And I don't want to use this particular January 05, though it's optional. If you want to use this, it's okay. I think we can even use this like this. Okay, what do I need to do now? Let's go over to modeling. Then we click on new parameter, then the field parameter. So for those of you who had been watching my video, I'm a fan of this, so you know that already. So I'm going to say switch measures. Then inside here, I'm going to come here to the DAX. I'll bring this in, this and this. So which means we have 4 different measures. So comment trend, whatever. Okay, let's go with this. If I click on OK, that will definitely create something like this. Okay, something like this for me. So here we go. We have this. I can keep it somewhere around here. So the next thing now is for me to click over this particular one here. Then go over to where you have the measure right in. So here is your measure. You switch the measure to something like this. And you're going to have everything right here. So until you choose a particular one you want to use. So can you see? So you can see. So we're going to look at the trend and how we can explain this trend in case you're working with a YouTuber that wants to understand what people are thinking about his video, so you can actually help them to analyze and see trend in their data. You get it? So now we have created this. What we're going to do right now is to click over here and quickly go over to this particular part, and we choose this very one. You see it now. Okay. So once we have done this, we can go ahead and convert this into something like this. So there is nothing happening here. What the heck is going on? So what do? Click over this particular part and let's say this is going to legend. We move it to the y-axis and now we have it right here. So we have this blank part right here. We're going to remove the blank from it. So to have the blank removed, go to filters and go to weekday. And we turn off the blank. The blank has nothing on it, so we just go ahead and turn everything on and uncheck blank. So the blank is gone. We're going to have something like this. Okay, so this is what it is. So we have our rough work now. The next thing is for we to look for how we're going to make it beautiful. So you know our aim, right? Our aims is to achieve something like this that I have on my screen. And you know what it is? The beautiful thing is this. If you want to see how many comments this person has, what are the comments, you can click and go to comments and it takes you to this particular page. You see the comment of this particular person. Not just this, you can do a lot of things with this. So maybe you want to see where people mention Chris Brown or Davido. What are they talking about him? You just go to comments and you have something like this. This is how we want to actually get it formatted and create something as beautiful as this. So let's do it. So as you can see, I have done some little arrangement, but it's not perfect. So we can actually make a little perfection on this right now. The very first thing you have to do is to make sure you clean this chart up to make it right here. So we go over here and the first thing we do is to go to the x-axis. So you know what it is? That is under the x-axis, we have to turn off the title. That will keep this place clean. Then once we have done that, we need to actually make sure we go to the y-axis. For the y-axis, we come over to the value and turn it off, and the particular axis will be turned off. So now it's making this to look better right away, right? So once we are very much satisfied with what we have, the next thing is for we to go ahead and let's click on this particular X and change this from here. Let's go with this one. I think this looks better, right? So once we are cool with this, the next thing we have to do right now, we don't have to do this over and over again. I can just go ahead and deselect it, select back to have this activated, click on this and apply it over here. It will transform this. Then I'm going to click and apply this over here. So it does transform it. This one looked better, but this one does not look better because this particular user IDs are not well shown. What do we do? So let's go to the y-axis here. Once you have the y-axis collapsed, so you're going to come over here and put this at 50%. That will show everything we have right here. Okay, so let us click on this one and apply the same thing over here and do this. All right, we have actually gotten this cleaned. This is what we need to do. On this particular part, if we click on it, you can see, we can see it so better. But for now, I'm going to go with what I have right now to create my template or my, what I call it, my background. So if I have to create the background for this, what I will do now is very simple. Then the next thing now is that we need to create a background for our work. To do that, you can do your Windows key, the Windows icon on your keyboard, click on it, then the Shift key, then the S key, then go over to this particular part where it starts. I'm going to do that again, Windows Shift S. Again, hit your Windows key down, then the Shift key, hold them down, then tap on S. You have this. You can see this particular plus. Once you have the plus, you just go ahead and select this area. So it has actually taken the screenshot for you. This is it. It's not going to be saved anywhere. It's going to be saved in your clipboard. So previously we have built this and this. We're going to build new one right now. How do we do it? So what I'm going to do now is to right click and add a new slide. With this new slide here, I'm going to go ahead and remove all of this. So once I've done that, Ctrl V to paste that particular screenshot we have taken. So we don't have to save it anywhere. It's going to be saved on our clipboard. So once we have done this, the main work would definitely start. Okay, the very first thing I'm going to do is just shift this down. I want to format this background I have right here. So if you look at this very one, I'm using a background. To actually get the background I use here, or the color for the background rather, I can click over here and you see I'm using this particular color. So the next color we're going to use is this particular color we have right here. So the color is not something very difficult. It's this particular blue here with 50% lighter, right? So let's do it. So once we get over here, so we click on this one and we select this. It gives us this vibe, right? Okay. I will do Ctrl Z, and now Ctrl X. I have actually received it back to my clipboard. Then I now select this one. Once I am done selecting this, I would go over here, insert, then let's go over to these shapes and we'll take up this particular shape. So we drop it down. So now let's go to shape formats and we change the height and the width. For this, it's going to be 6.74. Then we do that by 12.9.95. So something like this. So once we are done doing this, click over here and we select this particular one. Then we go over to this particular part and we take off this and we say no line. All right. So with that, we can just move it up a little bit. So what are we trying to create? We're trying to create a white space beneath here. You get it? A white space beneath here. So I want to make sure this is not something weird. Let's go to align. Let us align center. Now it centralizes rightly the way it should be. So now we can paste this right here. So we have pasted it. So once we have this pasted, the next thing I'm going to do right now is to go over to insert, and we pick this particular shape and we locate this kind of shape here. This is what we need. So with this, we just come over here and we do the height to be 1.13 and the width should gonna be 9.12. So something like this will definitely cover this particular part. So we can create a curve for it as we want. So now I just reduce the curveness. Now for the time being, I'm going to keep this like this right here. Next is for we to actually go get a card, different card. This time around, we're going over here. We're going to take this particular card. Okay, this card will definitely cover this place up. So quickly we duplicate and we have this here. Just stretch it. We duplicate again. Over here, we're going to have this right here. Just bring it down. Take your time to adjust it to this level. And we're going to have this. Do that one again. And we bring this over here. All right, so now we're gonna actually have to move this inside, move this like this, and now we can open this place up. Just take your time. And finally, we go ahead and double this and we fill this size up. We're going to make something like this. So which means we have to adjust this. So once we are done, we're going to copy this and we just make it a bit smaller and we keep it somewhere around here to give us this very feel we have right here. So can you see this now? Okay. I'm going to tell you that firsthand we are good to go. I'm going to get this one here deleted. I am going to have it removed. So once we have it removed, we're going to have something like this. So remember, we can move this anywhere to have more space to view what we have here. So it's optional. You can keep it anywhere you like. So I'm going to keep this one right here for the time being. I can even decide to make it a bit smaller and only show some part of it. So once we have this settled here, now we can hold our control key to select all of those here and we convert them to white, like this, represent white like this. So it looks bright and catchy, which is something I love. So I'm going to do Ctrl D over this one. And once I have done Ctrl D, I'm going to make sure I click on what is behind it and change the color to something like this. Okay, let's go with this right here. So now select this one and cover it up. Okay, so we are going to have this. So we'll just go ahead and do fill up over here. So click on this particular part. Then let's go over here. We are still on the solid color. Scroll down. So let's stretch that. And we do an opacity because we want to make sure it looks like a shadow, not something very dark. Okay, we're going to go with this one like this, right? So once we have this done, the next thing I'm going to do right now, let's come over here and Ctrl to duplicate it. Hold the Shift key to reduce this, with equal part. Hold the Shift key while doing this. So you're now going to put this in the middle of it. So over here, we're going to go ahead and grab a color. So let's go with a dark color like this. I'm going to keep this color here. So let's copy from the color we have used previously, which is this very color. I'm going to copy its color code. I'll show you guys. Then this is the color we have used. So if you don't have the hex code, you can use the RGB. You can see the RGB for red is 51, green 63, and blue is 80. So for the hex code is hash 333F50. That is it. Okay, I'm gonna copy this very one from here. Then we go back. Let's go back. So we go back here. We click on this one, and we're gonna paste the color over here. So click on OK. Then this same color is gonna be used for this one. So I'm gonna click and choose the color. So we have it. So over here, I'm gonna click and choose this very color here. So if you wanna know what color is this, I will show you the color code. So here we go. We have the hex code and as well the RGB right here. That is it. So now this is almost 100% complete. The next thing we're going to do right now is that we want to actually add some couple of icons which I already have. And you know the site, flaticon.com, and I have some other couple of sites I used to get my icons from, so you can go right there. So before we get these icons, what I'm going to do now is to go over to Insert, Shapes, and take a circle. To draw a perfect circle, hold the Shift key down, and you can draw something as perfect as this, then release it. Once you are very satiated, so just go ahead and release it. Then put this right here and target the middle, move it up a little bit. So now here we go. I want to use this color that we have for the background. So I'm going to click over here and choose to go with the eyedropper. And I will select this particular part, then scroll all the way down to turn off the outline for it. So we have something like this. Okay, if I go to this particular insert here, I will go to pictures. I'm going to go to this particular stock now, this device. So let's move to download. I have already downloaded some couple of icons. I think here. Let's go with this. All right, so we have those here. So if you come to this particular browser, so search for flat icon. So you can see the URL is flat icon. Okay, as you can see, we have this website called flaticon.com. So if you come over here, you can search for anything you really want to use. So what I'm going to search for is actually comment. Then if I hit my enter key, it's going to give me some couple of icons that I can actually use for my comments. So those are where those are the icons you can actually grab, and this is where I got my icons from. So we are back here now. We have to arrange those icons just like this. So now we have our icon, which means okay, I think this one here, I don't want to use this color. I have to change the color I have here. So let's go with formats. Let's go with this. Better. So now we can export this out and make use of it. This is how you have this created. To have it exported now, you go to File, you go to Export, you click on this particular change file type. You can decide to use PNG or JPEG. Once you have done that, click on it. And now you just save as background, then save, and just this one. So we are back to our Power BI environment again. So all we have to do right now is to go over here. Then we'll click on Canvas background. We click over Browse, and there is nothing found here. Okay, which means we have to go over here and pick either of them. So we have this couple of two, background here. That is the same thing. I'm going to just pick one of them. So turn this into a 0%. And it's going to give you something like this. So because we have background that is still existing inside our chart, so it's going to give us something a little bit weird. So we have to start removing them. So clicking on this and this here, then go over to this particular part. The next thing you have to do is to go and take off this. Okay, we are back here. I'm going to just go ahead and duplicate this and just make this a bit smaller, and we some kind of keep it right here. So Ctrl D again, I will bring this over here. So I'll take it up high. Then once I've done this, take it up high, I will hold my Ctrl key and select this one because I want them to be on the same line. So what I will do now, I will go over to the shape format. I will go to align, and I am going to say align bottom. So here we go. We have something like this. So once we are done with this, this is exactly what it is. So this actually changed the way it looked than before. So we just go ahead and just do very simple thing. Click over here, and this is what we are using. So we can find it here. We just click on this and replace then just this one. So once we get back here now, we can click on no visual, and we click on canvas background, then we pick it up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you have not, and if you have, your comment is very important, and hit the like button. Share if need be. Let's do it. If you look at it, I have actually changed the titles, and some part of our charts, we have added some kind of subtitle, which is very simple. In case you want to know how I did it, if you just click over here right now and you scroll to this particular part, you see we have title here, and all I did was to centralize it. So if you scroll down a little bit, you see subtitle. It's going to be turned off just like this. So turn it on and type whatever you want to type in here, then you have the subtitle. That was how I got all of this, imputed. So the same thing over here, we change this to actually make sure it actually speaks volume and all of that. So the next thing we're going to do right now is to make sure we click on this and we turn on the data label, which is very, very important. So for we to turn on data label, we have to make sure we scroll all the way down to have something much more better. We'll go to the value area, and we scroll down a bit, we actually turn this into none. So this will actually be more better than showing everything. So once we have done that, we can decide to crank this up, or we'll leave it the way it is. So let's go ahead and get this. Okay, once we are done doing all of this, we need to change color. So what color do we want to use? So we want to actually use color that would definitely match the background that we have. So if you look at this particular part, I have this color right here, and I have the color right on this particular part. This is the color I want to actually go ahead and use. I already have the color right here. This is the color here. So to get the color used now, so all you have to do is to click on any of the charts you want to change its color, then go over to columns. It depends on the type of chart. So click on columns, and here you find it. So in case you can't find the color, you click on more colors here, and here you have the color code. All right, so once we have done this, we need to actually click on this one, choose the same color. I'll copy the color code from here. So once I've done that, I can click on this one and have it done. So click on this FX here. So quickly you click on the gradient. So the highest value should take up this very color from here, and the lowest value should actually take, let's go with this color. So let's do this. So you can see how it comes. So if you want something different, all you have to do is not to actually delete it. Just go back to FX again, and you come over here. Let's go with this. So you can now see what we have. So the next thing we have to do now is to go over to where we have the legend right in. So you turn off the legend. Then we can simply use the same thing on this one. So this is what we have. Can you see? It's just that this has removed what is showing everything right here. So very simple, go back and to y-axis and turn this back to 50. And this is what you have. So it's getting very much better. So the next thing now is to click on this very one here, and we go to this particular column, So because of the background we have here, if I choose this, it's not showing up to my satisfaction. So what do I need to do? I can come over here and click on more colors, and I'll find a particular brighter version of the color. Like this one is very much okay. I'll choose to use this. So once I've done this, the next thing is for me to go over to my x-axis and choose to get this done. So here is bright now. Then let's go to title. Now let us do something about this very one here. For this one, we're going to use the newer slicer. So click over here, and once you scroll down, so you're going to find the new slicer, which is this very one here. So click on it. So we just clicked on it, and this is what we have. Next is for we to go over to here and turn off the title. Then let's go to the layout. So instead of us to be showing this, I'm going to change it to column. So we have changed to column. So now we show the whole items we have. I think we have 4 items. We show the whole 4 items that we have. You can actually make it smaller like this. So it depends on what you want. So we can click on this. So make sure you stretch this out. So don't forget to turn off this particular blank here. The blank should be turned off. But then to keep the blanks. So I'm going to click on this one. Let's go over to filters. Then we'll go to weekdays. So the blank contains nothing. Make sure you turn on everything and the blank is gone. So this is now cool. So once we click back here, we want to stretch it out just like this. So we're good to go. We just do something like this, right? So then the next thing is for we to click on this one here and go over here and turn off the background. The background is gone. Then we go to this particular button. So from button now, we want to turn off the border because we don't want no border for it. Then at default, we want to use a fill color. And the fill color I want to use at default should be something like this one right here. So I want to choose something that's some kind of look like what is here right now. To do that, we have to go to PowerPoint. And this color should be grabbed. To grab this color, right click, go to shape format or format shape or whatever, click over here and go to more colors, and you copy this color from here. So once we head back here now, we're going to paste the color over here. So we have something as bright as this. So we don't want it to be too bright. What do we do instead? So to change the brightness, we go to the opacity or transparency. We do this. It will now give us something like this, which makes a lot of sense than what we have before. Okay, the next thing now is to click on hover. So from the state to change it to hover. On hover, we want to see white. So whenever I hover over this, what should be seen now should be white, but it's not working. So why? Let's do it again. So now on hover had been on it. So I have to come and reduce this to make on hover work. Now you put it at 0 transparency. So now on hover is working. Okay, this is 100% done. Let's go over to what? To the selected. The selected one now, we want to match it up with the color of this particular thing here. Don't worry, we're still going to work on this one. For the selected one, we're going to use this very color. You get it right now? So this is the color we are going to use. So whenever something is selected, we want the text to be bolder than this. So we're going to do a text format, call out value. So default one, I think is okay the way it is. At default, you want to just have it a bit. Okay, now we still want to leave it this way. Now for the selected, we want to change it to this. This is my favorite font, right? So once I've done that, I can just bring this down a little bit to open it up. Okay, so now this is the selected one. Whenever I have this selected, this is what it is. If I have this selected now, you can see You can see when I have this selected. So this color is coming, right? So if I select this particular one now, all I have to do is to click over here and have the color updated accordingly. So all I have to do is to scroll all the way down. So scroll down. So we go to color. We choose the color, this one. So click on this one. So we click on the line. You choose to use this color. So choose this one here. So the reason why something like this is good is that when you have a negative value, you can decide to give your negative value a different color, right? This is exactly what it is. So you have something like this. Okay, this is it here. So if I just go ahead and have this hidden, then have this hidden now, you have this. But I'm not really cool with this. I would love to use something different. Let's go over here now. And this particular slider settings, no, I think it's going to be under, yeah, this slider setting is good. We want to actually forcefully turn on one, which means we cannot deselect this. So it will be one must be selected. We don't want to do multi-selection. So we're going to be on one selection, right? Okay, after that, we click on this very slicer. We go to shape from rectangle, which is the rounded corner, and we have to reduce it to make sure it fits what we are doing. So something like this will be more perfect than what we had before. So let us take a look at it. So what about this? This looks good. So I will just take this up a little bit. So here we go. We have something like this. This is what we have done previously. Now we have one single dashboard to be created. So I'm going to come over here and add a new one. This particular part here, I will call it comment or comment, whatever. So if I call it comment, what do I need to have right here? It's a very simple something, just a few steps that we need to put in here. So I want to bring in all of the comments. So we come over to data table. So we bring the comment and we bring the user ID into here. So we stretch it out. So if you look at it now, what do we have? We have comments and user ID. And there are no comments in what we are saying now. There are no comments. Now we are seeing comments. We are seeing comments. This is good. Okay. So what do? We come over here and let's take it down. We split this away. Right. So quickly, I'm going to click on this path and just go over to page. So I want my comment, this comment here to be connected to this page, to this particular visual, this visual, this visual, and this visual. So we are connecting it to what? To time group. We are connecting it to this particular user ID and this very one here. I know what it is. So now once we are here, don't click on the visuals. So what you do is to go over now to here. So you click on page information. Then instead of standard, you choose drill through. Now you click over here and you open up your data table. So we can add the one. Then we can add time group. So we can add user ID. I think we have, what the heck again? I think we have one more to be added. Yeah, we can add this one. So once we have done that, it's going to give us something like this. Don't worry about that. So once we are here now, so like this particular Data Lab 365, we want to see what are the types of comments. We actually cover and go into comment. And here we go. Can you see? Okay, let us read through this person's comment. The first comment he made is that Afro Beat to the world. And this person says again, Chris is mad on the pidgin lyrics. What? Okay, just like what? Okay, fine, well done guys. So next one, which is the third one, it says, if you are here for Chris Brown, comment this flag. So it seems he mentioned a flag over here, and he went again and said, if you are here for Davido, comment your country flag. So music of the month, Nigeria, show your flag. Soldier, police, many, 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 many men. So this is actually the part where he actually used a crazy rhyme in the music. So you can see this guy now. Let's go over here. I think, okay, this is what it is. I'm gonna go up to this man. So we have this done. The next thing now is to beautify this particular place. So what do? I already have something for this. So I will go over here and choose this browse. Then I'm gonna bring this in. So this is something very simple for anyone to create. So I have something like this. Okay. So what we need to do now is to make sure we do something like this. So I have already formatted this. I can just use this formatting, and I believe anybody can do this. It's something very simple. To use this now, I would go over to this particular part and have it pasted here. Then I'm not sure if this is gonna work. You click over this one, and oh, it worked. So now here you go. So if I come over here now and select like where Chris Brown is mentioned and step into comments, so you can see Chris Brown is what you're gonna see all through. Everywhere you go, Chris Brown will be mentioned. Chris Brown will be mentioned. This is the comment right here. This is how you get this achieved and all of that. So I'm going to tell you firsthand that we have actually, finished this particular, dashboard, and it's a long journey. Your comment is something very important to me. Just go to the comment section and leave me a positive review or a positive comment, and hit the like button if you really some kind of love this.